Look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know everything about soccer, right? In terms of the mess, no, the dumpster fire that is the United States men's national team. They cannot get it together. Now, obviously, a lot of their players decide not that their top players who would be playing in the World Cup decide not to play in this for the Gold Cup. We just got beat 4-0 by Sweden. And listen, man, I mean this wholeheartedly. I want to ask. I'm making this video mostly because I want to ask the real soccer heads, the real football fans, what is the United States problem when it comes to men's soccer? Because it feels like for women's national team, they have it figured out. They have way better quality players. They have players who really give a shit. They have players who show up. They have players who play inspired soccer. When I look at United States men's national team, it's like all they care about, man, is the World Cup, World Cup, World Cup, World Cup, and they get there, and they can barely win a game in the World Cup, if at all. They're playing points. They don't go to the World Cup or any kind of major tournament and play with any kind of dominance. They get dominated by every single player on the pitch, and it's disgusting to watch. It's hard to, especially how expensive sporting events in America is. It's really hard to go support a very shitty product, because guess what? Soccer is not the number one sport here. Not even close. So if you're going to put a shitty product out there over and over and over again, people are not going to, and we're going to get to MLS in a second, people are not going to go watch MLS games. They're not even going to tune in on TV. They're not even going to put it on for background noise. People are sure as hell not going to go to any type of international friendly and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. If they do, they're really diehard fans, and they were in there booing you 35 minutes in. Because all it took is 35 minutes to have 4 goals on your head. That's disgusting work. And hey, I'll say this: from what it seems like over the last couple of years, MLS players who get promoted up to play these international friendlies in these games, they care a shit ton. You can see is their moment. They are proud to play for the U.S. for a national squad. They want to make a difference. And unfortunately, they are just not good. Because no matter how much care, no matter how much willpower, motivation you have, it still comes down to skill set and just being a better squad than the one across from you. And they're just not. They just aren't. Matt Turner is a revolving door. If he's the best, if he's the best we have to protect our goal, we're cooked. And it is not just his fault at all, like not even close to all his fault. At least he came and showed up. But my God, if he's playing the World Cup, unless he takes a huge jump at the age he's already at, I don't see it. We need new. The U.S. men's national, and not just today, but like again even to the last World Cup. It just seems like, it almost feels like when Team USA for basketball in the Olympics picks their players, and there's no like real audition, there's no real tryouts anymore. That's what soccer feels like for the United States men's national team. It feels like it's like privilege and money gets you where you want to go. That's what it feels like. I don't know this for a fact. I stopped following the ins and outs of how the U.S. develops players for soccer after we missed the World Cup window in 2018, was it? So, I don't know. And I thought that was the lowest. I felt it was so frustrating because we missed out on the last chance to watch Dempsey and all those players play who played in 2014, which made me, a soccer fan before that, but like made me love watching the United States really play. I respect Donovan, I respect those guys, but like Dempsey, Michael Bradley, like Tim Howard, like those guys are what made me like really, really tune in to watch the U.S. play. Me personally. Like I love that generation more than Landon's generation. I was one of the critics where I was like, well, you're not gonna let Landon play in his last World Cup. But I got it, and that 2014 squad played with a lot of heart, had a lot of quality, had a lot of teamwork. Like you just tell. Not only did they care, they had skills, and they had a coach that could bring the skills out of them, and they just were super good playing with one another. Yes, we didn't make it far with that squad, but at least it really seemed like that was a hopeful squad. It sucked that between, in my opinion, what happened in 2018 was a bad transition of that older generation getting mixed with the newer generation, like Pulisic and coming up and stuff like that. And I feel like that was a transitional period that failed. Just like when it came to Donovan's era and going to Clint Dempsey and them, like I just feel like things didn't really go well, right? Josie Altidore and them, like it didn't transition well into the Pulisic era, and I feel like that's part of the reason we have problems today. But I'm tired of hearing we have the most skilled generation. It doesn't mean anything when you go to these international tournaments, whether it's the World Cup or all these other stuff, and you just don't dominate teams. Like the only teams you dominate over the years are teams that barely have enough talented players to make their international squad. No offense. Like I just I don't understand. Like they just don't hold up to anyone. They don't deserve to host any type of World Cup, bro. If it was possible to miss a World Cup window when you're hosting, they would miss. Like if they were like, hey, because this is a unique situation where it's North America hosting, so US, Canada, and Mexico all qualify. We can't have three; it has to be one. So you three have to like battle it out in some kind of system, or they have to all like something like that, bruh. The U.S. would lose. They would be fighting for their lives to qualify, bro. They just would. And I hate this excuse that MLS play. There are MLS players, and obviously excluding Messi. Messi's in the class. Let's not even put Messi in here. Messi is a class of his own. He's who he is. There are a lot of other players outside Messi who are in the MLS, who are doing something for their international squad, who look top form for the international squad. So it's not the MLS per se all the way. These players played at other places before the MLS, but they're still MLS players, and they're still going and doing something else. I think it's a combination of the MLS. I think it's a combination of not just soccer, but all sports in America becoming a rich man's game, meaning they are taken out of what usually would be poorer people, lower class. Lower class people, meaning just not people who have a bunch of money to go through the AAU circuit, like all that. It's expensive, bro. That's what I mean. It's expensive as shit to play sports in America, more than it ever has been. And I'm talking about organized team sports. Schools are super underfunded, so a lot of schools don't even have sporting programs anymore. They do is really bad. AAU is super expensive between traveling and all. It is super expensive. And it's catching up to America. It really is. It really is. And people wanting their child to be that next cash cow star. Draymond actually talked about it best on his podcast. I forgot who else talked about it, but Draymond definitely touched on it. Whereas like getting these trainers, I think it was LeBron also talked about it, getting trainers and it's not letting your kid just be a kid and just go have an imagination with playing. I see it in the U.S. squad for soccer. Sometimes I just don't see creativity, and part of that's the coaching. But the players still have to play, and I see no creativity out of these players. I see it when they go and play in Europe and do their thing, but when it comes to America, they don't care. Some of them don't care. the players that play in Europe come here and do not give a shit. I'm sorry. There used to be a time where you fucking played. If you were healthy, you played. Landon Donovan had a great message. Wrong messenger, great message though. You played. You know why? Because chemistry matters. The United States men's national team does not have the comfort of taking it easy to the World Cup. The World Cup is 1 year from now, and they look worse than they did last World Cup with the same group of players, and that's alarming because they're all still relatively, they're not teenagers, but they're young enough, they're all in their primes, and they are just garbage together, and I don't understand. They look unorganized. You have players getting red cards in major tournaments, then getting sent to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just undisciplined and unserious. And I'm just tired because I love the game of soccer. I really do. But Jesus Christ, the U.S. team is so god awful. And not just that they get their backs blown out, but like just watching them is so boring. It's so uninspired. It doesn't get you happy. The only thing, because World Cup is like you're all just like the Olympics. Anytime international competition where your country's on line, of course you get up, you feel good, you're a national pride. They are ass at everything, at soccer, at getting their fans hype. If it wasn't for the marketing behind the United States men's national team, people would not get hyped. Because when you actually see them play, it doesn't matter. It's just, you watch it saying it's only a matter of time before this is a blowout or they lose. Or it's a 0-0 game. Like, they cannot keep playing this way. And I don't know how to fix it. It's going to take decades to fix this. This is how bad it is. It will. Because I don't know, man. I just don't. But it's really hard. I mean, I'm in the DMV, in New York, in what other place I lived also in Arizona, Cali, like some of these places. I've been there and I see how to play, again, organized soccer, organized basketball, organized football, all these things. It's so expensive in tennis. It's so expensive, a lot of people can't play it here. And the destruction of courts, the destruction of fields, the destruction of playgrounds, all these things, destruction of after-school programs, just all these things that give these kids safe spaces in order to play the fucking game are dwindling and they're gone. And so you have to play in some of these circuits that are just OD expensive. And so now you're having these players who are rich, entitled, or at least not rich, at least heavily entitled, feel like they're the next coming of God, and they stink up the joint, and they have too much ego and pride to get out of the mud and fucking play. And we're stuck watching this shit. And I'm tired of the excuses. I don't care. Pulisic should be playing. He should be playing. He is supposed to be Captain. I don't want to hear Captain America around his name again. He does not deserve it. He doesn't. And I'm not saying he's the only reason, bro. But when it comes to leadership, I don't see it. You know who should be Captain America? Who should be wearing that band? Tyler Adams. Shout out to him. Shows up every single time. And he is the only person on that squad, since I started watching this squad with him, that plays inspired 24/7, plays his damn heart out, and plays with some, not even some, I mean he plays a lot of it, but for emphasis, he plays with some creativity. He plays with creativity. He just does things. He makes all the players around him better, and I truly mean that. I cannot say that about any other player right now. I really can't. Weston McKennie is also a player that I actually do like, but man, he has some stinkers sometimes, bro. And the creativity doesn't. And again, I don't know the answers. It could be this group of players just cannot play together. Like they're just not good together, And if that's the case, then we need a management or coaching staff that's going to pick these players out and say, hey, you're talented as shit. You're great. You play well in Europe. You do your thing. But when you're on this team, you have zero creativity and you're ass. And you got to go. Because I much rather play a youngin or anyone else who's eligible that's willing to go out there and try and always show up. I don't care what the competition, you show up. At the bare minimum, still on the bench. If you don't want to play, at least be present. Cheer on your team. You don't even want to do that. So fuck you. You don't deserve to have the jersey on. Go continue playing in Europe or wherever you're playing. Go continue doing your thing. And when you have your off season, you can go enjoy your off season. But you're not playing here ever again. We need that kind of discipline. There is zero discipline and accountability for this team, and it's clear. And some of these players are really trying. But I don't want to see Pulisic's dad defending him on IG with ChatGPT screenshots. I don't want to see that bullshit. Because at the end of the day, yes, Landon Donovan is probably one of the last guys that should be talking on that specific subject. But at least he gives a shit. And I cannot say that for half this team. It's uninspired and disgusting soccer that we're watching. And the entire community of soccer, the whole world, is laughing at us. Because we're hosting and we don't even have a shot. We have a shot of getting even past the group stage how we're playing. You have 40-year-old Ronaldo still playing and contributing. And you know how his last World Cup went. We have 40-year-old Ronaldo still playing for his team, still showing up, still putting effort. But we can't get half a majority of our guys to come show up ever to do anything. And they just come through during World Cup qualifiers or during World Cup. Now, since we're qualified, the World Cup will be next year. And just expect to play good. And they never play good together. But they just expect to just suddenly come together a couple of times a year, just play excellent. When they have never done that. I'm done, bro. I'm done. I am done. And bare minimum, play inspired. If you can't do that, you don't deserve none of this money. You deserve none of this praise. You're nothing, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of watching a shitty product. There are too many great sports going on in America for you to be this fucking shitty and still get our attention. Ass. An embarrassment and complete ass.